Thank you, Prabhu. Today we'll be doing Bhagavad Gita 15.7. Mamaivaamso jivaloke jivabhuta sanatanaha manashasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. Mamaivaamso jivaloke jivabhuta sanatanaha manashasthani indriyani Prakritisthani karshati. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. Mataji's Prabhu, anybody want to recite the shloka once? Please go ahead and recite. I request. Yeah.
Mataji,
Go ahead, Mataji. Please recite. Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita 15.7. Mamaivaamsho जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनसष्टानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
Thank you, Mataji. So, actually, this shloka, what is it saying? Our eternal identity. Krishna is talking about the Jiva's eternal identity. So, usually we hear, right, from lot of pravachans, like Krishna is saying, like, we are not happy in this material world. Why? Why they say we will be satisfied only in that spiritual world. We will be happy only when we go back to the spiritual world. Why are we always dissatisfied in this material world? The answer is this shloka. So here, Krishna says, Mamaivamso Jiva Loke. All the Jivas, he says, they are all Mama Shanatana Hamsa. He says, like all the Jivas are my Hamsas. Then Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Mamaivamso Jiva Loke. Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. They are all my Hamsas. And then he says, Manashastan Indriyani. Then Shashtani Indriyani. Shastan. Like six senses he represents there. Usually five senses, right? What is the sixth sense he represents? Sixth sense. What is he saying? Six senses. Sixth being the mana. That's what. Prakriti Shana Karshati. We are very much struggling. That's what Krishna says. Struggling because of all the six senses due to the conditioned life, struggling very hard, which include the mind. But we are all part and parcel of Krishna. That is the main thing what Krishna is trying to. What is our eternal identity? We are all his fragmental parts. Mama Shanatana Hamsha. That's what Krishna says here in the shloka. So the living entities are all parts and parcel of Krishna. What do we understand by saying parts and parcel of Krishna, right? So, parts and parcel, is it something like taking a paper or some piece of cloth or something and then cutting into small, small pieces and all that or pieces and finally the cloth or the paper is no more? No, it is not like that. This is something eternal. Krishna is completely eternal, and we being the parts and parcel of Krishna, we are also eternal. So, why they say that we will be happy only when we are in the spiritual world? We, whatever happiness we get here, it is all temporary, right? Ashashvatam, Dukkhalayam, Ashashvatam. This material world is Dukkhalayam and this is Ashashvatam. Why are we always dissatisfied? And why they say that we will be happy only in that spiritual world is Krishna says here, because we are all parts and parcel. We belong to his amsha. So we are away from him. That's why we don't find any happiness here. Whatever we find here, it is all only temporary. We are always looking for permanent happiness, right? In the place where we will never get the permanent happiness. So, the permanent happiness will be there only when we go back to the spiritual world. That's why only in the spiritual world we will be happy. It is because we are all Mama Sanatana Amsha. We are all parts and parcel of Krishna. We are all his Amsha. Krishna clearly explains it in the shloka. So, Krishna is eternal. We, being parts and parcel of Krishna, we are also eternal. It is not like the matter. You just take a piece of whatever the matter, whatever it is, and then cut it into pieces, or and then is the whole same? No, the whole is like when you cut the paper is no more, only the pieces are there. It is not like that. Krishna is eternal, and the parts and parcel, we, the Jiva, we are also eternal. So here in purport, Prabhupada very nicely explains about the different energies, right? We have heard about Krishna's different energies. One is the external energy, Bahiranga Shakti, right? The material nature. And the other one is the internal potency of the Lord, the spiritual nature of the Lord, right? Very, 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 very blissful. And the other one is the marginal, the Tatashta Shakti. We are the Tatashta Shakti of the Lord, the living entities or the marginal potency of the Lord. Therefore, we are separated, and we are the parts and parts of the Lord's creation, right? So what do we mean by saying parts and parcel of the Lord? So it is, we are the marginal potency. We are separated from the Lord, and we are there in a part of Lord's creation, in some part of the Lord creation, in a limited space, right? This material nature. So that's why it is said as we are parts and parcel. We are eternal. It is not like the paper or the matter stuff which I said, right? Like the cutting into paper. This is something eternal. We are parts and parcel. Krishna is like an ocean, and we are like a small minute drop of that. So therefore the individual soul, the jiva, is eternal. What happens after we break the cycle of this birth and death? um we They say, like, the impersonalists say, right? So they just join. So we are a part, and it is not like after breaking the cycle of birth and death, we, the part, goes and like merges with the whole. That does not happen. After leaving this body, when the jiva enters into the spiritual world, there he goes and participates in serving for the pleasure of the Lord, right? Because we are servitors of the Lord, always. We never merge into the whole. That is the impersonalist philosophy. So we are always going to be there to serve the Lord in his pastimes. We will never merge. Here, let us just see some purport points which Prabhupada says. The Supreme Lord manifests and expands himself in innumerable expansion. So his expansions are of two types, right? Swahamsa and Vibhina. So primary expansion and secondary expansions are there. So what is primary expansion? Expansions of his own, like the own incarnations of Krishna, are called or the primary expansions. We have innumerable Vaikuntha planets, right? So in each he expands. Those are its primary expansion. In each he expands, and he acts as the preceding deity of that different Vaikuntha planets, like Rama Avatara, Narsimha Avatara, Vamana Avatara, like Matsya, Kurma, everything, right? So these are the primary expansions, Swahamsha and Vibhina Hamsha. Vibhinahamsha is Krishna's secondary expansion. So, we, the living entities, are Krishna's secondary expansion. We are the Tatashta Shakti, the living marginal potency. So, we are separated from the Lord for what? For a different purpose. We wanted to enjoy, we wanted to do sense gratification. That's why we are separated. We have come here for a different purpose. So here Prabhupada talks about these expansions of the Lord. So now we are separated. And we are eternally, but still, what is our primary duty? We are eternally servitors of the Lord. Therefore, it is like doing bhakti, it is not optional for us, it is mandatory. Definitely we have to do bhakti. That is our original constitution position, right? We have to do bhakti. Doing bhakti is never a choice for us, it is mandatory. That's why Prabhupada gives this Krishna's primary expansion and explains this secondary expansion. We are the secondary expansions. And what is our duty? We have to do bhakti. We have to do bhakti towards Krishna. It is not a choice for us, and we have to take it. It is mandatory for us. So here let us just see this point. As fragmental parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, the living entities also have fragmental portions of his qualities, of which independence is one. Krishna has given. We are just like a small minute part, right? Like Krishna is an ocean and we are a drop. We are the small living entity. For our small living entity, he has given us a very small independence also. So, every living entity as an individual soul has its personal individuality and a minute form of independence. By misuse of that independence, one becomes a conditioned soul. And by proper use of independence, he is always liberated. So, here, this is our choice. That independence, how the living entity is going to use it, whether it uses it rightly or the living entity uses that independence, misuses that independence, right? When that independence is misused, then we are stuck in this cycle of birth and death. When the living entity uses that independence in the right way, then he gets liberated. He just transcends beyond this three modes of material nature. We are 1/10,000th tip of the hair, right? So the minute living entity, we are given the minute independence. We have to use that independence very smartly, right? What the choice, the independence, what we have, what is given to us. So whether to enjoy without Krishna, or to be with Krishna always and to serve him in his pastimes for his pleasure. So that is the choice which we have to make. We have to make use of that independence which Krishna has given to us. The smart living entity will use the independence in the right way. That's what Prabhupada says here in his purport. Yeah, in his liberated state, he is freed from this material condition, and he is under the engagement of transcendental service unto the Lord. In his conditioned life, he is dominated by the material modes of nature, and he forgets the transcendental loving because he is being captured by Maya, right? Like when he misuses this independence, he wanted to enjoy without Krishna. That's why we all are here in this material world, right? Yes or no, right? So like when the living entity misuses his independence, then we are into this cycle of birth and death. In his conditioned life, he is dominated by the three modes of material nature, and he forgets the transcendental loving service to the Lord. As a result, he has to struggle very hard to maintain his existence in this material world. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. Right? So, Generally, usually, the arrogant kids, what do? They don't understand the parents, even in this material world I'm talking about, right? The kids don't understand, the arrogant kids I'm talking about, they don't understand the love and the affection and the caring of their parent. Without understanding, they will just get out of the house. They wanted to be independent. Nowadays, like independent America, in US, they teach the kids right from the young age itself how to be independent, how to sleep independent, how to serve the food independent, how to do the kids stuffs independent, everything independent, right? So they take everything into their hands when they come to the youth stage. So but still, India, when we compare, India is a little bit behind. It is in a good way. So still, we are always following the westerners, right? So here, independence, the arrogant kids, what they do, they wanted independence, they wanted to enjoy something without their parents, so they get out of the house. And what happens? So the coming out of the house, that is not natural, right? Like that he doesn't get that love and affection what the parents usually give. So what happened to that child who comes out of the house? He goes and struggles and struggles and struggles. So when he's not at all happy, so for him to be happy, what he should do? He should again go back home, go back to his parents, right? He has to revive his relationship with the parents. So what will the parents do when the child is going to come back? Never. Even in the mortal parents itself, they don't say anything when the child is coming back. Oh, Kanna, oh, please come back, right? Like when the child is saying, Amma, Dad, I'm very sorry. So, like, the parents are so happy to take him back and show much more love and affection than they did earlier, right? It is the same way. Now, in this material world, we, the living entities, forgot the relationship of Krishna. For we wanted to enjoy without Krishna and we came back. So, what we should do, we have to realize our position. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We have to go back home, back to Godhead. Only in that place the happiness, the permanent happiness is there. Here we are always dissatisfied. So we have to revive that relationship with Krishna. So when we go back, being not a mortal parent itself, like they are happy to have their child back. Why not our Supreme Father, right? The Supreme Father is always waiting for us. He is waiting. When is my son? When is my kid going to come back to me? So he will definitely accept. Why not? So that's why our chanting also should be in that mood, begging for forgiveness. And when am I going to come and serve at your lotus feet? So Krishna, show me the path. That is the mood when we are chanting. When we have that mood, automatically we will progress in that path very fast, very fast. So, coming to this point, why are we suffering here, right? So, Prabhupada talks about that. The conditioned soul is bound up in this material world. We are suffering. Why? Because the conditioned soul is bound up as though shackled by iron chains. He is bound up by the false ego, and the mind is chief agent which is driving him in this material existence. So we are really caught this three modes. When it starts acting on us, we really cannot come out of that. It is something like, as Prabhupada said, it is chains. We are shackled by chains. The false ego always says, you're this body, you're this body, you're this body, right? The false ego always, like, keeps on telling us, and that is driven by our Superman. Who's that? The mind. Here Krishna also said that, right? In the shloka, mind, he represented the, he said that. Prakriti, yeah, mana shastani indriyani, mana. He says that especially. So this Superman here, the mind is always driving the false egos to say what you're this body, you're this body, and the mind is affected by all the three modes of material nature. So this is what this is the we are shackled here with strong chains. So this is how we are affected, this is how we are suffering when the mind is in the all the three modes. How it is affecting the mind? When the mind is in the mode of goodness, then we are very happy, we do all so nice things. In the whole day we just keep on juggling between all the three modes, right? Like morning goodness to now we are in the mode of goodness, we are listening to Bhagavad Gita, we will chant, do everything, we'll go to the temple, everything. And afternoon it comes, then we are in passion, and evening it comes, and then we are in ignorance. So according to the three modes, the mind is just juggling here and there, and it is driving the false ego all the time to say that you're this body, you're this body. We are completely shackled with the strong chains, right? So when it is in the passion, the mind, it is troublesome. When it is in the ignorance, like then it acts as we are not even eligible to be in this human form of life, right? That is how the three modes acts on the mind, and the mind is always driving the false ego to identify that we are this body. But what is the truth? We are not this body, we are eternal parts and part and parcel of Krishna. We are Jivatma. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is Satchitananda Vigraha. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchitananda Vigraha, right? So when we are parts and parcel of Krishna, Krishna is such eternal. We are also eternal. Chit, he is full of knowledge. We also have knowledge, and Ananda, always blissful, we also have that. But Krishna, he has it in a complete form, full. He is Purna, right? He is Sindhu, and we are just a small drop of that ocean. But still we are qualitatively same, but quantitatively we are different. This quantity, even we are different, this quantity being a bindu, we can still serve the ocean, right? Sindhu. So this is our position. Be Jiva's position is to completely being the servitor of Krishna. Always we have to be in the service mode. We have to serve Krishna for his pleasure. So this is what Krishna says here. Mamaivaamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. We are all parts and parcel of Krishna. We are struggling here in this material world because we wanted to enjoy without Krishna. But we have to analyze where we are going to be happy. Then once when we analyze that, then we will know that. Here Prabhupada also says that the conditioned soul, yeah, the conditioned soul is bound up as though shackled by iron chains. He's bound up by the false ego. Yeah, that point we discussed. He said a living entity gives up this material embodiment. What happens after the living entity leaves up this material world, and when he's going back to the spiritual world, when he is like transcending all the three modes, and then when he is liberated, what happens when he goes to the spiritual world? His spiritual body, he can see, he revives his spiritual body. Prabhupada says here, and his spiritual, yeah, let me read it again. He revives his spiritual body, and in his spiritual body, he can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. He can hear him and speak to him face to face, and he can understand the Supreme Personality as he is, right? So what a beautiful time when the living entity breaks the cycle. Why should we go back? And why we started the question here, right? Why it is said that we will be happy only in the spiritual world, not in this material world? Because when we are breaking the cycle of birth and death in this material world, we are when we are towards our spiritual world, we are reviving our spiritual body. That's what here it is said. And then we have the chance to see Krishna face to face and to talk to him like this, like how we are talking in person. So, like, we can talk to Krishna face to face, seeing his eyes, seeing his like form, whatever we are reading in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and then we can serve him personally in his pastimes. So that is the thing everybody want to aspire for. When am I going to go to the spiritual world, to be yeah, permanently happy there, right? So this is what today's shloka is on the topic Jiva. Any questions and comments, Matajis and Prabhujis, are welcome. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Matajis. Hare Krishna. Any comments and questions? You're please welcome. Hare Krishna, Shri Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Suresh Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandas Pranam. Thank you, Mataji.
That
Hare
is
Krishna
Prabhu.
Thank you for a
Mataji,
wonderful
Dandavat
class,
Pranam.
Mataji. Hare
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Krishna.
Thank you.
Mataji.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Hare
Danda.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Mataji. Any discussions on this topic? Kalini Mataji, do you have any discussion, any comments?
Very well covered, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Your questions make us to talk more.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Shri Prabhu. Shri Prabhu. With your permission, can I log off, Prabhuji? Okay, devotees, thank you so much. And we will, yeah. Hare Krishna, Sri Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We are done with today's session.